The Saints begin their offseason while the NFL playoffs live on. What are our thoughts on the NFL playoffs and the offseason coming up? And what are these trade rumors that we keep hearing about A.J. Brown? We'll tune in on another great episode on the Who Dat Weekly. Let's hit that intro, gang. Welcome to the Who Dat Weekly, featuring the Dirty Dev's finest, Christopher J. Spies. How's everybody doing today? I don't know why. It feels like I've been gone for a week, but I really haven't. It's only been a week since I made my last video. I guess the off-season's starting to get to me, and I'm starting to trying to get things done, make improvements to my channel, and yeah, I mean, what else is there to do? I mean, the playoffs are going on. We're going to be talking about that today on our show. We're also going to address some of these trade rumors that I keep hearing about. Now, are they legit or not? I'll discuss that in further detail later on. And of course, we're also going to mention who we think is going to be the Rookie of the Year. I think most of us Saints fans already know who's going to be Rookie of the Year. Suck it, Giants fans. Okay, where do we start today? So, let's go ahead and address the NFL playoffs real quick. So, I'm going to briefly run through it. The wild card round that had occurred last week, and it was quite a wild card round. Probably the most competitive wild card round I haven't seen a competitive wild card round in a hot minute. This year's wild card round was a doozy, and I absolutely loved it. So, to start things off, in fact, can I change it here? Nope. Okay, well, that's fine. Well, I think most of us already know what had happened, but to start things off, the Panthers and the Rams. To you Panther fans, I hope you're enjoying the couch with us NFC South members. But yes, the Panthers, I will give them some credit, even though I still hate you guys. But you guys fought really well. In fact, I really thought y'all were going to win. Did I want y'all to win? Oh, hell no. Because you see, that's not the NFC South way. That's just being petty. We're like, oh yeah, come back, sit here on the couch with us. Like, the worst division in NFL should have no business being in the playoffs to begin with, but that's how the NFL playoffs are structured. So who are we going to complain about? Because we've seen it several years in a row now. We see it happen with the NFC West at one point. We see it happen with the NFC East. I mean, these things happen. So, I mean, what are you expecting to do? So, but the Panthers, they actually did give the Rams a run for their money, because I really thought, me and my bros, we really thought the Rams were going to absolutely run them out the house, but that was not the case. The Rams had to fight tooth and nail in this game, and they end up winning 34-31. So much I hate giving respect to the Panthers, because I don't like the Panthers just as much as I hate the Falcons, but I hate the Falcons more, so I'll give a little teeny tiny respect towards the Panthers in their regards to how they played in the playoffs. They played much better than I anticipated, and that's that. So the thing I noticed about that game is how well what's a dude's young kid's name? I think y'all know who I'm talking about. But the Panthers quarterback, dang it, man, why am I drawing a blank on this guy? He's constantly getting sacked. I think y'all know who I'm talking about at this point, so I'm not going to repeat myself. So, overall, it was a good game. I mean, there's really not much to say about it. The Panthers really gave them a hard time, and that's about it. So, but moving on to the Eagles game. Now, I got to pick with you Eagle fans for a minute. Now, I don't have a lot of beef with the Eagles, but let me tell you, when you guys talk so much trash entering into the playoffs, you think you're going to mop the floor with the San Francisco 49ers. Instead, you guys look like fools and end up going one and done. I mean, let's be honest. The Eagles are a joke at this point. They were touted as one of the top dogs in the NFC, and while they still made the playoffs and all, come on, man. You just don't lose in the first round, especially when especially when I think they were, they're the defending Super Bowl champions from last year. Like, give me a break. So you simply can't go one and done in the playoffs as the Super Bowl defending champions. And let me tell you, like, the Eagles were so overrated. Like, Jared, is it Jared Hurts? I think so. Yeah. Is it? I don't know. You correct me if I'm wrong. But Hurts, he really hurt himself in this matchup. There was just nothing good going on with the Philadelphia Eagles in this game. The Niners just really had command in that whole game, and that's why they won pretty simply 23-19. They just gave the Eagles fits left and right. The Eagles offense could not. Jalen Hurts, that's his name. I don't know why I said Jared Hurts. But yeah, so like Jalen Hurts just could not get things going. It was just a mess, and Eagle fans just went home sad. And in fact, there's actually this one young lady who's an Eagles fan I keep seeing all over Facebook. I have no interaction with her whatsoever, but she talked the craziest crap, and I just have to like give her a little roasting. She probably has no idea I exist, but that's totally fine. I don't care, but I'm still gonna roast her nonetheless because she said the stupidest things ever. Like she said, after watching the Bears, and we're about to talk about them in a second, how the Bears won against the Packers and what was probably the wildest wild card game in the wild card round, she immediately said, "Oh, we're gonna clap the Bears so badly." What happened? Like, seriously, what happened? Eagles fell apart. That's exactly what happened. And she is silent as the grave, and of course I don't know what she's doing. I care less about what she's doing. So, just wanted to point that out. I don't know her name or whatsoever. I just see her all over Facebook, and that's about it. So, yeah. So with that being said, the Niners just handled business on that day, and good kudos for them. Now they're going to move on, and I think they're playing. Yeah, they're playing the Seahawks. But yeah. So, and speaking of the Bears, as I just mentioned, the Bears had one hell of a game. Like. Something about this Bears team, man. Like they were one of the better teams for a reason, and they won the only few teams that had the most comeback wins this season. And once again, the cardiac Bears showed up. They were down by triple scores. At one point, they were down like 21-3 or something like that. And I was just thinking, oh yeah, this game's over. Like it is over. No, it was not. The Bears found a way to start making this game competitive. It was almost all in the fourth quarter. I saw that whole thing, by the way. And Caleb Williams he looked like he was out there for 10 plus years, looking like a star-studded quarterback. And he just guided the Bears to victory. And the Packers, they just self-imploded. And let me tell you what, Packer fans are. It's lovely to see y'all cry over everything, especially when you cry over the refs. Like y'all want to talk. So, but anyway, so yeah, the Bears had one hell of a game. I have to give them a lot of credit, and yeah, I mean that's pretty much it for the Bears. So moving on to the AFC side real quick, the Chargers once again go one and done against the Patriots, and it's not like the Patriots did a whole lot of anything. In fact, they only won 16-3, and the Chargers could have had many opportunities to win that game, but they found many opportunities to simply lose that game. It was embarrassing. Like, I mean, you only scored 3 points, and you were in the red zone several times, and you can only come away with 3 points. Come on, man. I mean, Chargers in glorious faction. In fact, I have not seen the Chargers win a playoff game in years. Like, I don't know when the last time they won a playoff game. It's been a while. In fact, they're just like the Pittsburgh Steelers, who ironically we'll talk about next. They have not won a playoff game, at least in the first round, the wild card round, or really any round in general. They have not won a playoff game in like a decade. In fact, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they got walloped by the Texans defense. Like the Texans defense was really the Texans offense that day, because the offense was doing absolutely nothing. And the Texans defense just manhandled them left and right, and sure enough, that was it. That was all she wrote for the Steelers, and they lost 30-6. And next thing you know, the Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin decided to resign. And I don't know if he's ever going to coach again or what his plans are post-retirement. Who knows? So I guess time will tell on that one. And then last but not least, we have the Bills and the Jags. And the Jags had, once again, it was one hell of a game. The Jags had an opportunity to win the game. They had an opportunity to score, maybe a field goal, force overtime, something like that, and they absolutely choked. Like, they just straight up choked. And they were the higher ranked seed over the Bills. And the Bills have been kind of off and on this season. They haven't been like their most impactful self. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if they can't beat the Broncos this next weekend coming up. So we'll see what happens. But the Bills took this game pretty simple, straightforward. Nothing else to say about that. So now I'm going to quickly run through these divisional matchups. I'm just highlight some interesting aspects about these matchups. On the AFC side in the divisional round, we got, as I mentioned, Bills and Broncos. Then we got Texans and Patriots. On the NFC side, we got Niners and Seahawks. Easily my most favorite matchup coming up in the playoff round. And then you got Rams and Bears. So, out of these four matchups, as I mentioned, the Seahawks and Niners game, that's going to be an instant classic. We're talking about two hated rivalries. You got one at the number one seed for the NFC, and they got their visiting hated rivals. And it's hard to win in Seattle for a lot of teams. I mean, ask the Saints. We got absolutely destroyed by them. But yeah, so excuse me, sorry. Yeah, so the Niners are coming into town. They're going to hope to pull an upset against the Seahawks. And who do I have winning that game personally? I think it's going to be the Seahawks because the Seahawks have just been so good. And while the Niners have been consistently good this year, how much longer will the injuries catch up with them? I mean, that's my thing with them. So I think it's going to be a very close game. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it hits overtime. I think the Seahawks are going to win by 3 points in that matchup. So moving on to the Rams and Bears. The Rams and Bears, that should be a good matchup too. And this time, it's at Soldier Field. I mean, although the last game was at Soldier Field, but still, the Bears have home field advantage once again, and they're taking on a Rams team that is not easily to be beaten, if that makes any sense. So the thing, though, with this matchup is the Rams are probably more consistent at winning games than the Bears are. How much longer will the Bears' luck have going their way? Because, as I mentioned, the Bears have the most comeback wins this season, but how much longer can that actually go? So I could see this going both ways, or either way, but if I had to give an edge to one team, I have to give it to the Rams because the Rams are they're a little more put together. They know how to finish games strong. The Bears, they just been relying on luck. And Caleb Williams, he's been okay, but he only shows up in the fourth quarter, and you really need him to show up in all four quarters. So that is my biggest issue with that matchup. So I'm getting the Rams, but they only win by 3. Quickly going to the AFC side of things. So the Bills and Broncos. So which Bills team are we getting this week? That's the biggest question. And will this week off for the Broncos impact them well enough? Well, and we all know Sean Payne. Sean Payne's leading the Broncos as we speak. And personally, I'm rooting for the Broncos. I don't know about you other Saints fans or other fans out there, but for me, I'm choosing the Broncos because I want to root for my boy Sean Payton. I still have a lot of respect for him. I hope he does go win another Super Bowl and make Mickey Loomis look stupid. But we'll see. But this should be a good matchup. Defensively, the Broncos I think have the better defense easily. The Bills' defense has regressed drastically, and the Broncos' offense is decent, but I think they're going to have a good day against the Bills' defense. As I just mentioned, the Bills' defense is not that good. So I'm going to take Broncos in this matchup. Part of it is biased, but part of it is seen from a football perspective, and I think the Broncos are going to win this one by maybe 7 points. So last but not least, the Texans and Patriots. Now, the big problem here with this matchup is the Texans just lost Nico Collins for this game, probably for the rest of the season, depending on what happens with this matchup. So, and the Texans' offense has not been good this season. They've had to rely on their really, really talented defense over the course of this season. But the thing is, they need the offense to wake up at some point. And the Patriots, they're no team to look over whatsoever. So the Patriots the Texans need their offense to do something quickly, and they need them to be on. They need to be clicking on all cylinders. They need to be moving that ball, no turnovers, protect C.J. Stroud. That's been their issues all season. So, unfortunately, because of those aspects, I can't really pick the Texans in this matchup. I'm picking the Patriots by at least 7 in this matchup. So, and that wraps up my playoff prediction. So let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room, and that would be the trade rumors going on surrounding the Saints. Now, these rumors I've seen, it's typical off-season stuff. I'm not exactly taking it seriously unless it actually happens, but let's just play along with these rumors here. Let's just go ahead and play along. So, to give a quick background, I think everybody kind of knows who A.J. Brown is. He's been one of the NFL's best receivers in the league. He's averaged nearly 1,000 yards every season, with his best season being in 2022 when he first arrived with the Philadelphia Eagles. I believe they won that Super Bowl that year with him. Could be wrong, but overall, he's had a remarkable career as a wide receiver for not just Tennessee, but for also Philadelphia. So he comes with quite a resume, a very tempting resume to really add on to this Saints team that clearly needs receivers. So, but here's the problem. A.J. Brown is also known for injuries, especially lately. Another problem is he's become quite a drama queen. Don't like that. I don't like either one of those things. My hope for this year coming up is that the Saints find receivers that can stay healthy. Like Chris Olave, hopefully, with the one exception of the blood clot that happened, poor guy. I hope he's doing all right. I mean, you really can't count that because players at his age don't get blood clots. You usually get that when you're 50 years, 50, 80 years old or something like that. But still, where was I going with this? Oh, yeah. So, seeing poor Chris Olave, I think he's an exception because, he actually looks like he's started to figure out how to not only protect himself, but also to remain healthy as the year goes on. And that's something we're looking for. Hopefully this past year wasn't a fluke or anything like that, but still, it was good to see that he finally overcame that health hump to where maybe we have more expectations next year, especially now that we got Tyler Shuck under command, who's likely going to be quarterback number 1. I can't see any other reason why. And personally, I think he's clearly the best quarterback on the team, given how he ended the season. So, but adding A.J. Brown to this room, not a good idea. We saw his antics on Twitter. We've seen his behavior on social media all over the place. Do we really want his presence in that locker room? Do we really want his presence in that locker room? Personally, no, absolutely not. I just don't want that kind of player in the locker room. If you had asked me, 2 years ago, sign me up, because his antics really started to play up in these last few years, ever since he got to Philadelphia, and it's shocking. It's really shocking to see how he's turned to his own version of, this might be a hot take actually, but it sounds like he's turned himself into another Antonio Brown, minus the concussions and all that. So, but we'll see what happens. But personally, I don't see it happening, and I think it will be a huge mistake for the Saints. And personally, if we're going to go after a receiver, get somebody else in the offseason, or better yet, draft one. Just simply draft one. That's who I'm primarily targeting, is the draft, because we've seen some really good receivers come out in last year's draft who made impacts for their teams, like Tetairoa McMillan for the Carolina Panthers. He's been an impact player. That Mboku guy, I think that's his name, for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm sure he kind of dropped off towards the end of the season, but at the same time, the injuries played a factor for that team, but that's a whole separate subject. These are just examples, and Chris Olave, another good example. He's been very good with us despite having an injury-riddled history. So I think our best bet, and plus we're trying to get under the salary cap. That's most important. We got to get under the salary cap. So I think the best route for us to go is draft receivers. So now I haven't done my full research just yet. I'm going to be spending these next few months coming up talking, like figuring out who the Saints should get, who would fit this team the best, blah, 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 all that good stuff. So we'll see in due time. So that's just my opinion about A.J. Brown. I don't think he's a good fit for this team, period. So now let's talk about Rookie of the Year. Who do you think is going to win Rookie of the Year? I already know my opinion. I think all Saints fans know their opinion. I know Jerry in the chat knows that opinion. Shout out to Jerry, by the way, who just broke 800 subscribers. Excuse me. Giants fans trying to make an argument that Jackson Dart, who, yes, he's my boy, went to Ole Miss there, but that's the least of my concerns. So they're saying that he's better than Tyler Shuck, but you know what? I'm sorry. Like, Jackson Dart played several games more than Tyler Shuck, and Tyler Shuck did significantly more than Jackson Dart. Now, of course, Giants fans are going to say, oh, well, he played more competitive competition than Tyler Shuck. And I'm like, oh, yeah, did he win any games? Did he win any games? No, he did not. Look, this is not me dissing on Jackson Dart. Like I said, he's my boy. He's from Ole Miss. I give a lot of respect. I know he's going to be a damn good quarterback for the New York Giants. But when it comes to the actual stats, Tyler Shuck has him beat in several categories. Like, literally. The only category he doesn't have him beat is rushing yards, which is, like, the least of my concerns. Because we didn't know that Tyler Shuck was going to be a running mobile quarterback. We knew that Jackson Dart was that kind of quarterback. But at the same time, so it was a good, pleasant surprise. Now, had Tyler Shuck played the whole season, who knows what his stats would be? I think he would have blown Jackson Dart right out of the water, and that's why this conversation is happening, because he didn't play the full season. So, but to me, Tyler Shuck should easily win this Rookie of the Year. Hopefully, I mean, if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong, but I really do think that Tyler Shuck is the better quarterback and the better rookie in this conversation. Now, you can also make an argument for Tetairoa McMillan, who I just mentioned, for the Carolina Panthers. He's had some strong numbers as a receiver. He's shown that he's like one of the best rookie wide receivers out there, so he could also make an argument. I'll give him that. Cam Ward, he's also been pretty solid for the Titans, despite having a really bad season, way worse than the Saints ever did. It was like night and day. But he can make an argument himself. Now, there are people who say that Cam Ward's 10 times better than Jackson Dart. I'm sorry. No. I don't say that just yet. Not just yet. Maybe ask me 2-3 years from now and we'll circle around this conversation. But right now, in regards to Rookie of the Year, I personally think Tyler Shuck is the guy who's going to win it this time. And I put in my vote for him already. As soon as those polls were open, I immediately voted for him. Like, that was the easiest vote ever. So, and yes, Jerry, we are going to be coming back stronger. Absolutely. I can't wait. So I guess we can also address pretty briefly what the Saints need. I think I already covered the receiver aspect part of it, but what we need to address for this team next season is we need to address that interior O-line. The interior O-line is a disaster. Now, I don't know what their plans are for Cesar Ruiz personally, and I think a lot of Saints fans will agree with me on this. We need to move on from Cesar Ruiz. That dude just simply stinks. He has been a huge issue all year. That interior O-line continues to fall apart as long as he's the starter. I don't know what they see in him. He's now had three different head coaches coach him up, and none of them have worked. Granted, Dennis Allen was an absolute joke as a head coach, so I give him a little grace, but he had Sean Payton, and now he's got Kellen Moore. You have two offensive-minded geniuses take command of the offense, and you still can't perform. What does that tell you? That tells me you just simply got to move on. It's just simply not working for us. We need to stabilize that offensive line, especially in the interior, or else Tyler Shuck is just going to be seeing his ass on the grass year in, year out. So, yeah. With that being said, like it's just time that we move on with him. Now, what do we do with the other side of the interior line? That's gonna be tough because we need help in that part too. But it seemed like the backups, did relatively okay. I didn't really notice it too much, but at the same time, we do need a legit starter for that part of the side of the O line. Excuse me. So we'll just see what happens. Right now, the interior O line needs to be addressed for certain. And personally, I would rather them address it through the offseason, through free agent signings and everything, than more first-round draft picks. I feel like we've wasted so many first-round draft picks on offensive linemen. Now, granted, Kelvin Banks Jr., Taliese Fuega, both solid picks. Like, Kevin Banks, I think, was actually the better of the two. But the interior O-line needs to be addressed. I think center's actually pretty okay. I don't know what Eric McCoy's going to do. I don't know if he's going to try another year or if he's going to just simply retire. And that's a very strong possibility because, like, Eric McCoy, he went down, I think, mid-season or before mid-season, maybe a little earlier before mid-season. And poor guy, like, he's had back-to-back season-ending injuries. It's like, how much longer does this guy have? But the good news is, when he did go down, his backup, whose names I cannot remember for the life of me, his backup did really well. I was actually low-key surprised. And it makes me encouraged that if Eric McCoy were to return, he goes down again, then voila, we have an answer to the center. So that's a good sign for us. But as far as the interior O-line goes, we need to address that ASAP. But please, for the love of God, do not use your first-round draft picks for the interior O-line. Please don't. Just please. Will the Saints listen to me? Probably not. We all know the Saints by now. They find ways to make us mad. So they might even do exactly what I just said not to do. So, but I really do hope that after how we finished the Atlanta game, the second Atlanta game, with no available receivers other than Juwan Johnson, I hope that gives him incentive to go out, either find a free agent that's available, or better yet, draft a wide receiver. That is seriously needed. And it's not just a wide receiver. You got to get a running back too. Running back is a must for this team. Like, sure, Alvin Kamara, he never played for the rest of the season, and honestly, his presence wasn't exactly noticeable because, like, it seemed like the backups did a really good job in taking over. Devin Neal, I still have a little faith in him. Like, he's still young in his career. He did some good things before he went down with a season-ending injury. Kendre Miller, I think he's out the door. I think he's simply out the door at this point. It's sad because, like, and I kind of called it before last season even occurred. I really thought that last year was going to be the year that Kellen Moore was, or not Kellen Moore, the Saints were going to move on with Kendre Miller. They gave him another shot, and at first it looked like he was getting somewhere. He actually was looking like a powerful runner. But then you go down with another season-ending injury. It's like, how many more times, guys? How many more times are we going to give this guy a shot? I think it's just time to move on. And it's sad, because I know Kendre Miller has that talent, but he cannot stay healthy. He just can't. So it sucks, and I really feel bad for him. But it's time to, like, the way this team has approached things this season, this is clearly Kellen Moore's team, and I think he's going to see that Kendre Miller is just becoming baggage at this point. He's Dennis Allen baggage, for all that matter. Like, if you really notice how the team has drastically changed as the season progressed, despite how bad it was, is you noticed, you start to notice like a lot of the Dennis Allen players are no longer playing. Maybe a handful of them, but a lot of them either got cut, they either got traded, or they got injured. One of those three. And it's crazy because like at first we thought we had some solid players, but we realized these guys just were not good enough. They just simply were not. So yeah. So we'll see what happens, y'all. Like it's too early in the off season. Like the playoffs are kick starting right now, and it's been a very fun playoffs. And I look forward to seeing what this divisional round goes and see if all my predictions go well. We'll definitely cover the next week at some point. I know I got a Mardi Gras is about to kick. In fact, I got my little Mardi Gras shirt going on. So Mardi Gras season's among us now, so that's exciting. But as far as the NFL playoffs, we're gonna be covering them. Don't get me wrong, but we're not putting too much emphasis on that. So because this is after all a Saints channel, so. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream episode. What do you guys think the Saints should address this offseason? Who do you think is winning the Rookie of the Year? And who do you think is winning in each of the divisional round matchups coming up? And last but not least, who do you think is winning the Super Bowl? I'll share my predictions probably in the next video. Until then, hope you guys enjoy your day. Who dat, baby?
Hey Gates, you are a savior.